Yo, what's up out there? Um, haven't done this in a minute. Took the last 2 weeks off in terms of doing gaming news because I really wasn't all that interested in what was going on. So, like Sony's thing. Sony put out a overpriced, unnecessary update to their PlayStation 5. I was gonna talk about it a little bit, but after I thought about it, it's like, dude, it's kind of hard to care. But that's just how it is. Okay, why is my light blue? That's weird. Alrighty. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna cut this off. Light's blue for some reason. So I'm not gonna be on too long. I'm just gonna talk about a few things. All right. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about, because I saw actually this kind of interested me because it gives me some hope for the future of games and gaming in general. Well, two things. This and what I think the CEO of the company Saber said about Space Marines. So let's get into the first one. You can see that. All right. So Krafton says it didn't buy Tango Gameworks for Microsoft for profit. We don't think that Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to make us money. I played the game a little bit. I thought it was actually pretty good, and it was a novel approach to gaming, which we need more of. So I'm glad that these people. I don't understand why Microsoft closed it. Microsoft been doing some interesting stuff lately, and I think they're thinking more in terms of corporation and not in terms of gamers. So you know, it's okay to make a profit, but if you want to expand the culture of gaming, you you gotta let some stuff not. Right, hold on. You gotta put out some stuff that's not gonna make you $1 billion. That's just kind of how it goes. So, all right. PUBG publisher Krafton has said it didn't buy Gameworks from Microsoft because it cares about making a profit. The CEO Changhan Kim admitting we don't think that Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to make us any money. Kim told game developer that Krafton swooped in to save the studio after Xbox announced its closure because it cares about legacy and allowing creativity to flourish in the video game industry. This comes despite Tango Gameworks developer Evil Within and Ghostwire. Developer of The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo alongside Hi-Fi Rush not having a big success with its games. Sorry. We wanted to maintain their legacy, although they did not have a big success in their games. We saw many creatives worth pursuing, and that's why we wanted to work with that organization. He continued, we're trying to increase our portfolio lineup, and Tango Gameworks comes into play there. We can't acquire Tango Gameworks based on the financials or their numbers, right? We don't think Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to make us money, to be frank. But it's good to hear that they're gonna make a second one of that because, like I said, it was a pretty novel game, and the little bit that I played of it was actually pretty fun. But as part of our attempt, we have to keep trying in the spirit of challenge taking. Tango Gameworks are creative; they want to try something new. We want to do more of that. Making video games is really hit or miss industry, and that is risk taking. But having more project lineups. Okay. Okay, something. What the? Hmm, it looks like my browser may. Okay, all right. I don't know what that is about. Uh, okay. Kim said that Tango Gameworks' previous games may not have even broken even, and the deal to acquire the studio was not too expensive or cheap either. Definitive numbers can't be shared until the deal goes through, but the dollar amount was not really important to Microsoft, he said. Really? Kim said this because it knew that Hi-Fi. Oh, no, only Hi-Fi Rush was brought over. Oh, okay. So they only got Hi-Fi Rush with the purchase, though. Said this was it knew that Hi-Fi Rush was a priority for fans and didn't want to add too much to the deal to overcomplicate things. Okay. This would cause it to move slowly and add to the stress of already anxious employees. Because Hi-Fi Rush fans really want to see sequels, we negotiated with Tango Gameworks, parent company, to acquire the IP as well. We wanted to make sure that the deal happens fast to minimize the gap in employees' careers. This is actually pretty cool. Like I said, this gives me some hope that all these companies aren't terrible. You keep hearing about the EAs and all that stuff, and you think that all gaming companies are terrible, but this is actually pretty good. And given how the day has been, hearing some good news is a good thing. If we were to acquire all the IPs, I think it's going to complicate the deal too much. Krafton is a pretty big company, but Microsoft is very complicated. We wanted to help the team continue developing their games, but especially Hi-Fi Rush. When I think about our fans, I think they really all they really care about is Hi-Fi Rush sequels. All right. Hi-Fi Rush certainly appeared to be a breakout hit for Tango Gameworks, breaking the mold in its horror game roots as a colorful rhythm action game. Hi-Fi Rush marches to the beat of his own drum with stunning animation, lovable characters, and stylish rhythmic action that are anything but one note. Okay. Microsoft itself said the game was a success too. Yeah, that's why I don't understand why they closed the studio. Despite it shadow dropping the game with no marketing, Microsoft executive Aaron Greenberg declared the game was a breakout hit for Xbox and its players in all key measurements and expectations. Microsoft couldn't be happier with the team at Tango Gameworks delivered, and when it hit 2 million players after a month and received high praise from critics. But just over a year later, the studio was shut down. So this is how it ends. Wrote the all these ads, man. John Johannes on Twitter. Unfortunately, we don't quite have the words, but at least thank you to everyone who supported us. Krafton kept the studio alive, though brought over around 50 to the 100 staff members. It's unclear why the remaining approximately 50 staff didn't join Krafton, but it's possible that they had already found jobs elsewhere as the studio closure was announced 3 months earlier. Kim made it clear Krafton had no plans to lower the number of staff, and even IGN with all these ads even suggested that the expansion was in the cards. Okay. Well, like I said, it's pretty good news, So all these companies aren't pricks. So that's pretty awesome. And that was the other good news is what's going on with the all right. Okay. All right, what's going on with the share the screen? CEO of Saber Interactive, I think. All right, so Warhammer 40,000. Okay. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 developer Matthew Karch appears to confirm the authenticity of his comment decrying games at Embracer Group had an overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. Yeah, because basically all these gaming studios seem to be getting bought out by corporate types who only care about making profit. And a lot of these places are filled up with activists who are trying to use the game to push whatever message that they're trying to push. And gamers aren't interested in none of these things. They just want an interesting game. So given what he said, again, it gives you hope. Saber Interactive CEO and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 developer Matthew Karch appeared to confirm the authenticity of his comment decrying games, and Embracer Group had an overblown attempts at messaging and imposing morals on gamers. In a comment on a video, Asmongold YouTube channel where Asmongold reacts to the legendary drops, Space Marine 2 is a reminder of what we lost. Karch made his opinion clear. He said, "Hey man, CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had a chance to work on something. That's not right. Want a chance to work on something which, by in its nature, was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games we play these days. They are too complex, too much of an investment." Yeah. When I tell regular people who aren't as invested in these, they play games a little bit, but not really like that. So I'll tell them that these games cost like $200 million. They're like shocked because when you show it to them, they can't really see where the $250 million is coming from. And me, I've been playing games for decades, and I can't even figure out where all this money is going to. So it's like you're investing this amount of money, and this game needs to make like a crap ton, like $1 billion or some ridiculous number in order for you to make a profit. It's like you don't need that. A lot of these super popular games, like Helldivers, Power World, stuff like that, yeah, they didn't spend all that much money to make this game, so it lowers the amount of money you need to make a profit. And if you just make an entertaining game, people will actually play it. But like I keep saying over and over again, people want to give you money. Just give them a reason to give you money. So, all right. Next, he shared that he was inspired by Halo. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simple list of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to recapture. Karch then shared his hope with that Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong are the start of a revival in video game industry to get back to fun and immersion. He wrote, "I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion of into a time when games are simply about fun and immersion." In order for that to happen, you kind of have to get the corporations out of the industry, because corporations don't operate. They don't care about whether or not you have fun with something. They just want you to spend money. That's why they're so interested in live service games, because live service games allow them to make the most money. They don't care whether or not you like them. They just need enough of you to like, what they usually call whales. So they need enough whales to justify and make enough money. People who spend like thousands of dollars on like Madden and FIFA and all the other stuff. Yeah, the normal person who plays these games are upset with how they're set up, but they're not really making it for you. So once until you can get that out of gaming, you're kind of stuck with this. So I don't know. All right. He lamented the state of the industry during his brief time as chief operating officer at Embracer Group. I spent some time as chief COO and Embracer, and I saw games that were made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging and imposing morals on gamers. Yeah, like that Dustborn game. We just want to do some glory kills and get to a heart rate up a little. For me, that's what games should be about. Yeah, basically. He appeared to confirm the comments of authenticity in response to the game's fun founder. Yeah, I'm not even trying to. Iremeve praised Karch for the post on YouTube, writing, "One of the coolest things I've read recently is a badass game. Like Space Marine 2 is a badass game. We played it in co-op with Maria Coach Mola and had tons of fun. He had it so refreshing to see Matthew Karch engaging with the community-based CEO. I wish big companies would hear the community and their customers, players, and not just the shareholders." So you got a little bit of love. And he said, "Whoever wrote this seems pretty sharp." On the top comment, revealed that Spaceman Wally suppressed Saber interactive projections of the games. Yeah, because people just want to play a game. They don't want to be lectured to. Simple as that. And from what I heard, that the game is just fun. Kind of reminds a lot of people of what Gears of War used to be, and hopefully what the new Gears of War is going to be. Because all the stuff, the last two games. All right. All right. In fact, the success of the game led to Aleph Capital Partners and Chris to fund Saber Interactive, so they got more money. After our departure from Embracer, we have been working on finding a partner with the resources to help Saber grow and with the foresight to believe in our business plan. On the heels of our release of Space Marine 2, which has already wildly surpassed our projections, we are proud to announce that we have taken on two equity investors, Aleph Capital Partners and Crestview Capital Partners. Can't express how happy I am to have gotten this done and how excited I am to be working with Jamie and Brian. This is a new chapter in Saber's history, and we're all well equipped to help change the face of the gaming industry. We could not have gotten here without the support of Lars, Kiki, and Jacob at Embracer. I have and always will consider them to be part of our family. And of course, a massive thanks to my brother and the keyboard god, Michael Layton. Okay, so Saber is committed to changing the way we make and deliver games. Gone will be the days of the 100 million plus budgets. Thank God. And the nickel and diming of gamers, our industry has been stuck in the Jurassic era bloated budgets and risk-laden releases for far too long. With Crestview and Aleph, we're at our side. We're poised to change that. The game concurrent player count of 225 and launched on September 225,690. All right. Well, like I said, that's this story, and the other one, it's like maybe there's hope, you know. One can hope, because this is a pastime that I rather enjoy, and they're making it so that you don't, like, a lot of people don't enjoy it because they're not making stuff for me anymore. It's like so many things, like movies and television shows. You just notice that they're not really making it for you anymore. So they just cause you to pull back, and all right. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which is kind of a downer, I guess, is well, let's see. All right, it's the AI thing. So I don't really know what to make of this though. All right. AI says it's AI is the very core. All these freaking ads. Yeah. IGN and all these stupid ads. And it's the this site is interesting. It's like bouncing around as I'm trying to read it. It's like changing its layout, which is crazy. On Tuesday, Electronic Arts held its annual Investors Day, which is, again, this goes back to the crux of the problem. They care more about their investors instead of their customer base. So, which is a kind of funny thing, is like you should care more about the customers because then you would sell more product, and then therefore that would actually appease the investors instead of flipping it around and worrying too much about your shareholders. All right. 3-hour presentation intended for investors to learn more about the company's direction and promises to make them money in the coming year. But you'd be forgiven if you thought this was some sort of AI tech conference, given how effusively the technology was brought up and touted as a key component of EA's future. They're known for a while that EA and a number of gaming companies are experimenting with and investing heavily in AI. It was nonetheless a bit overwhelming just how often AI came up throughout the entire presentation. It was mentioned just it was it oh, it was mentioned it just about okay, wait a minute. It was mentioned, comma, just about every single segment in some capacity, had its own dedicated segment near the end, and was described during CEO Andrew Wilson, the guy who looks like a used car salesman, introductory speech at the very core of our business, a rather shocking new mission statement for a company that ostensibly makes and publishes video games. Because again, this dude sells widgets. That's his whole thing. He's just trying to figure out a cheaper way to sell widgets. If he can get the AI to do a lot of the stuff that he had to pay human beings to do, then he can sell more money because all he is about selling widgets. And he doesn't understand how he's killing EA basically through greed and whatever. So, the very core of our business, not merely a buzzword. Yes, it is. It is very much a buzzword. He announced that EA apparently has over 100 active novel AI projects in the works right now, ranging from the practical to the very experimental. Wilson divvied up these into three categories: efficiency, expansion, and transformation. AI basically cobbles together existing things and gives you a version of something that's already existing. So it's not transformative. It just it's like you take the ingredients for an apple pie, you kind of mix other stuff into it, you still kind of have an apple pie. It's just an apple pie that kind of tastes a little different. That's it. It doesn't make anything new. And if you want to kill the gaming, that will do it because it will make same old stuff. Now, as a corporate dude, he probably doesn't see no problem with that because it's less money. You don't have to develop anything. But in terms of, and just like the previous two stories, and the reason why I wanted to at least start off with the high rush developer thing is you won't get nothing like that if you take the approach that he is. Good. It, but that just kind of goes along with the corporate mindset. Describe the efficiency in projects and not just cost saving, but related to doing things faster, cheaper, and higher quality. Especially, he cites the College Football 25, saying the developer could not have made the games 150 different stadiums and over 11,000 player likenesses without AI. Yeah, you could have. You could actually do it if you would have and started this a little earlier. You could have did it with humans. So that's BS. Because they made college football games before. They had pretty much just as many stadiums before, and you got to play in each stadium before. So I don't know why it's different now. Why you can't do it now, but you was able to do it before. That's why I call BS on that. He elaborated by saying that he believes AI can give developers richer colors to paint, more brilliant worlds. No, because it doesn't create anything. It just cobbles together stuff that other people have created. Make characters with more depth and intelligence while offering more authenticity and deeper immersion. Again, AI cannot give you that because it's incapable of that. Maybe 10 years from now, maybe it will be, but right now it cannot. They are talking about these things like, yeah, AI can do a lot of stuff, but to get true immersion, you need someone with a distinct vision, a human being with a distinct vision, not a series of algorithms that are designed to cobble together things that it thinks that a large number of people likes. It's kind of like what they do in the movies where they have like a test screenings and all that stuff, and it gets a bunch of random people together and to go about what they like, what they don't like. Yeah, and then you wind up with these generic movies that nobody likes. All right. He describes looking into the future and finding entirely new kinds of experiences that don't currently exist in games, especially around user-generated content. What the hell? These freaking ads. Chief Strategy Officer of Mahir Vadia went in more depth about what transformation element will mean for EIA later in the section, but Wilson's opener made it clear that he's more into it than bullish on the new technology. And it talks to the follow number EA leads, highlight ways in which EA is already working on AI tech in its existing games. Laura, people got these weird names. Melee, president of EA Entertainment Technology and Central Development, talked about something about called the Sims Hub. First AI features coming to the Sims universe. EA plans on release a platform with supercharged discovery tools that uses AI to allow players to find user-generated content more easily. She shut off an AI application that uses photo search feature that allows users to drop in photos of real life houses and then find user generated houses that look similar to them. Okay. Highlight how AI. So basically, like I don't know, Zales or something. Where users able to drop an image of a celebrity person in a certain outfit, and the game generates them that matches up. Yeah, this does not sound that interesting. In internal tech side, she talks about EA's asset library, which she described as like the Smithsonian of game assets. Essentially, EA has a massive database of assets from all of its games and work behind the scenes over the years, and it's using it to train its machine learning capabilities in large language models. These capabilities are then being used by the company's seed in innovation lab, otherwise known as Search for Extraordinary Experience Division, buzzword, for things like EA's script to scene tool. Script to scene lets developers create characters, direct performances, and define worlds all from text. It shows an example on screen, prompting AI chat assist to build me a Parisian style residential building. She asks it to make it taller, changes it from modern high rise, expands it to larger neighborhoods. Script to scene claims that EA developers could eventually make an entire scene in a game using simple text commands. Nothing about this person says that she's a gamer. Nothing. Just like how the CEO of EA looks like he's a used car salesman. She looked like a techie person. This does not sound interesting. I would rather get something that was designed by an actual person, like the older EA games, where it's like Sam's, and you have it on PC, you get like user created stuff. I think you will get something way more interesting and more unique by that. This doesn't sound entertaining, and it's like they're not giving you more options. They're just using this to cobble together everything that they have already made, so they don't have to pay anybody to draw anything new. So this is about them saving money. They can make it look like, like whatever they want, but that's essentially what this is. All right, so took the stage, talk about EA Sports, showed off the already announced FCIQ, which is tactical AI and real world data to more accurately simulate how players and teams play together in EA Sports FIFA FC25. He had Wilson's prior statements about using AI in college football, noting that the stadium created AI tools in particular reduced creation time by about 70%. Okay, so I keep hearing it's just like when this dude talks about how I think he was the one who was saying how people don't want single player games. They want live, like this sounds like something that benefits the company, does not actually benefit the actual player. So yeah, this is just a lot of dribble. So yeah, this sounds like a bunch of dribble. Just like corporations want you to want this, not necessarily something that you actually asked for. Now, in a game where there could be a lot of text, again, this is I can see some aspect of it making life a little easier, but I don't see how it make it better because you don't get an any kind of good story like this. It's just a combination of things that has already been done. And I think there was the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about is at least on a high note. All right. So yeah, that sounded like a bunch of corporate speak. But as per usual, and that's usually what you get nowadays when you pay attention to all these when all these little conferences and whatnot. Yeah, it's usually some person who is not a gamer. They're either sell you a widget or convince you of something that they think that you should want, not necessarily something that you do want. So said, I'm gonna end this with at least a little bit of good news. Respawn confirms that there will be one more Star Wars Jedi title. I actually really enjoyed the first two, Survivor and can't remember what the first one was called. The Galaxy Far, Far Away has been getting pretty attention recently, and not necessarily for good reasons. Yeah, because everything they've been putting out is crap, and that Ubisoft Outlaws game was looks like pure ass. After all, you heard what happened with his latest TV show, right? Anyways, on the gaming side of things, Ubisoft released a title within the Galaxy to various middling reception and results. Yeah, the game looked like ass. The company itself took a stock hit because it wasn't meeting expectations. Yeah, because it put out crappy product. And it looks like their next product is going to be a crappy product too. That got fans to wonder if Respawn Entertainment could save them, as they know how to make things work in that universe via the first two entries in the Star Wars Jedi series. We all know the third was likely to happen. It just hasn't been confirmed yet. However, EA's investor relations, as noted by VGC, Laura, same chick, president of EA Entertainment and Technology, noted that Respawn has indeed been working on a third title in the line, and then this would be the final entry into it. Respawn is working hard to bring the final chapter of this thrilling story to players. 40 million Star Wars fans are connected with Cal Kestis and his art of becoming a powerful Jedi. While we could easily argue that this isn't Cal's arc, why would it not be? The games are about him. We'll let it slide because this finally confirms that the third game is coming. I don't understand this. How can you easily argue that the games are about him? So I was like, all right. It was presumed to be happening due to its reception and sales of the second game that came out last year, but you never know what the gaming industry these days. The game made money, so you can pretty much be pretty assured, at least as far as EA is concerned, something that made a lot of money. Yeah, they're working on another one. The question is how will the story end? At the end of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis and his friends were portrayed by one of their new allies, losing multiple members of their mini rebellion, including Sarah. However, it came with a small bit of light and hope as he discovered a planet that the Empire itself couldn't get to. The implication is that Cal and those still around will start ferrying people to this planet to keep them safe from the Empire's reign. Of course, not everything goes to plan in this universe, so things could change. Even if that is the goal of the final title, they will have to explain why Cal Kestis isn't around during the main trilogy when the galaxy needs him the most. Well, I mean, it's probably pretty simple because they found a planet that is kind of outside of everything, and it's like an entire planet. So it'll take time for you to get settled. It'll take time for you to get about the business of creating a place to live and how to survive. So if it's based off of Disney's, like if it's based off of Disney's Star Wars, you got the Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and then there's like a huge gap because they don't really count the stuff that happened in the books and all that stuff. So you could have him pop up after everything happened. He's an older man, tell a story about how something happened and they got kind of stuck behind, like they got stuck there and they couldn't get out, and they figured out a way to get out, and then you can do the whole time dilation thing, so you can keep them relatively young and have that planet, everyone on that planet age slower than everyone outside, and then you go that route so that he can still be relatively young when he comes out, and then you could actually, which will actually be kind of cool, because then you can have it take place after Return of the Jedi, so then you can introduce Leia and all these things. So it could be interesting. So unlike even still, unlike with Ubisoft's recent Gambit, fans know that Respawn will deliver, as they have had the last prior two games in the bank, and prove that they know how to make a galaxy far away exciting and keeping their interest throughout. So yeah, it's a pretty short article, but that's like a little good note. And I didn't plan on talking about too much stuff because there's not really a lot going on. It's a, nothing like they got a couple of games coming out. Like people were talking about Black Myth Wukong and all that fun stuff. So, all right, well, 35 minutes in, couple of stories. I will try to make it back next Thursday around this same time. So, to anybody who checks us out later, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and all that fun stuff. And I am out. Later.